I need help, boss.
And he stands up and says it louder. He goes, I have a really big penis.
We're the NSAA. We're never serious about anything except grip ball.
I have drifted an aircraft carrier.
What?
To an extent, but you'll be out there alone as fuck. There's no.
Just bump into people by osmosis of dopeness, you know?
3, 2, 1. We're going.
Welcome, everybody. We're back to another episode of the Happy Hoodlums podcast. I got Timmy Stanford for my guest, a.k.a. Qeuw, in the building. And we have Zack Sampson, the great, down there on the ones and twos. And me and Timmy have been brothers for, like, ever. We'll go into the origins of that because it's kind of funny in a second. Side note, my guests have the best backgrounds right now. So, you guys, we're going to have to get a little GoFundMe or something. Upgrade your boys' background. This is ridiculous. I'm focusing on other things. I got stuff that I got to balance, but we want to bring the best, and that's why we have Mr. Qeuw himself. He's actually also doing something awesome. He's live streaming on his side. So this is our first live streamed podcast, and it's not even us that's putting it on.
Don't worry, I won't publish it or nothing. I just, these are the usual hours I'm live, so it all works out. Plus, you guys get more publicity, so that's dope, right?
It's a collab, bro. I'm cool with it, bro. I don't even care.
I'm cool with it.
Everybody, like in music, always gets their stuff leaked. At least in rap music. You remember back in the day, rap music, they always were leaking shit.
I do remember. I remember staying up late, or not late at night, but staying up during the day and watching MTVU, because that's when they only had the music videos, just to make sure I knew it was current. I was like, I know that song, yeah.
I got called out so many times for not knowing, like, because my dad was all into, like, rock music. And I loved rap, but I didn't know nothing about R&B. R&B was like in a cool little pocket over here, bro. And all the girls at school would always want to hear some R&B shit. So they come up to me and like start quizzing me about like some like, I don't know, like Mariah Carey or something. But that was just so out of left field from what I'm used to hearing, you know? I'm either listening to like G-Unit or like sneaking off to listen to like Wu-Tang Clan and Tupac and shit, you know?
Boosie.
Yeah.
I didn't discover Boosie until later, but he really
is
a huge influence. I love Lil Boosie. But when me and Timmy met, I'll go ahead and let him give the story, then I'll give the story, because we were really, really little. I think I had to be like 5 or 6. Maybe.
We were in first. I was in first grade. You were in second grade. I got this. So me and Kemper were in a first, second grade elementary school class. So like they just didn't have enough room, so they just combined the classes, right? So he's a year older than me. That's when we first met. So there's this kid named Gordon, right? I sat next to him. He was like supposed to be my like buddy to like introduce me to school or something like that. So I was hanging out with Gordon. It was music class. Gordon was previously already friends with Kemper and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So music class was over. We're walking out. Kemper just turns to me, like he's in front of me. He turns around. He's like, fuck you. He didn't say fuck you because it was first grade. I don't remember what he said, but this is my first interaction with this man. He turns around, just socks me, gives me a left hook right in the face because he was a little dude. He was a little hothead bully. That's how we met. And I didn't cry. So this is what he said to me. He said, I like you. You didn't cry. We've been friends ever since, this little psychopath.
he never snitched me out, yo. He just got snuffed one time and like ate it and just looked at me like, the fuck did you do that for? Yeah. I was like, I love him.
What else do you do when you get punched? You know, you're just like, what the fuck was that? You know?
Over the years, things have happened where like in that same school, in that same hallway, we would meet years later. And he just happened to be like drinking at a drinking fountain. And I caught him slipping because I was coming out of class. And so I snuck up to him and I went, ah! And he literally jumps up from taking a drink, grabs me by the shoulders, knees me in the fucking nuts. after like having already confirmed that it's me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, why did you do that? He's like, you shouldn't sneak up on people, bro. I was like, but you saw it was me. And he was like, you just shouldn't do that.
That's right. You gotta teach people a lesson sometimes, you know?
You just shouldn't do that. That's hilarious.
But no, so our bonds go way back. Like when my mom wouldn't be able to take me to school, Timmy's dad would step up and take me to school. And that was always
He did that?
awesome.
I don't even remember
Yeah.
that. Wow.
And I always told my mom that Timmy's dad was a lawyer because that's what I thought when I was little. Timmy's dad actually is the founder of the THCF, which is like the medical marijuana like foundation, bro.
Damn.
Not that all the B. That's his dad, right? And so I remember being little, like we didn't know what you don't know what weed is. Like no one explained it to me. My mom didn't smoke weed when I was little.
My dad did.
And
My mom did.
yeah.
Keep going, sir.
And so we would be in the car sometimes, and I remember seeing like into his dad's like suitcase one time. He had like a luggage case,
Yeah.
and it was open. And I remember seeing weed. That was like the first time I ever saw weed, and I was like, bro, I don't even know what that is. Like, what is this alien flower thing? I was like, this is crazy. And then years later, as I was little, like I began to see it and recognize it in all the pictures and stuff. And I was like, I wonder what the hell this is.
That's dope.
But
They
yeah.
my parents were never hiding it, but they'd like be like, we shouldn't talk about it too often, so they don't talk about it to their school. You know what I mean? Because being like, my dad sells, you know, like say something that would get them in trouble because they didn't do anything illegal. But when a kid tells you you know, weed wasn't as looked up
Looked
upon
at
as it
the
is
same
now.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah,
they
bro.
tried to not use words that would make us say it and get them in trouble.
Mm-hmm. You're trailblazing for the culture at that point. Like your family's paved the way for like where society and culture is in the US like
A
today.
little bit more. You're right, but more so in Oregon because it first like the first place it was legalized kind of was in where was it? I don't even remember. Chicago, not Chicago. Where was it? I don't remember.
Washington.
Washington, was it? Okay, well yeah, so small help that part, but mostly for Oregon. But yeah, definitely showed people that like, hey, this should be legalized. That's what my dad's always mainly been about.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is think about how many people your dad's kept out of jail. Dude, isn't that crazy to think about? Like how many people could have gone to jail that didn't go to jail because of your dad.
True.
That's like a
My
stupid one.
my
But
dad
it's
definitely
funny.
spent a lot of time people trying to get him in jail because of it though. He always tells a story that I would have been born if the whatever they didn't vote, you know, so they had a what's it called when they have people vote for you instead of the judge voting only? A jury.
The
There you
jury.
go. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the jury didn't vote in his favor, I would have never been born, you know? He loves to
Yeah,
tell that story.
that's crazy. But it's funny to me like none of you guys turned out to be stoners. You just have hella stoner attributes. Like
Thank you.
like,
Appreciate that.
and I think it just kind of stems from like stoner culture, a large part of it, especially for like our age group, I guess, is like we grew up playing like Sega and shit, you know? Which is how I was actually friends with Gordon. Side note.
Oh,
He
really?
was into Mega Man, and I remember being like, I fuck with you. Um, but side note, times two. Um, basically, when we would be playing stuff like that, you guys just like fell in love with it and took it farther because I remember you would have me over to overdub stuff with you guys. So when they were little, Zach, like, because his older siblings are like maybe how old is Ryan? It's like 5 years.
Ryan's 30. I'm 26, so he's 4 years older.
Yeah. So he being older than us, still that's like some wizard shit to for a kid to figure out, especially
Yeah.
with like the technology we had. But they started taking like cartoons and things like that and downloading them, muting the audio, and just completely like overdubbing it. And it was so awesome. They did seasons and seasons of this, Zach.
That's crazy.
This is true. In 2006, we had a
Mhm.
top 100 channel on YouTube. But clearly,
Wow.
because we're stealing TV shows, you could assume it got taken down. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. They were killing shit. But me and Timmy just would always play video games, and like school was so fun for us. I used to always sneak candy into school. I was such a little bad kid.
Sneaking
What type-
candy
you
into
s-
school is your worst crime.
Yeah, I was like sneaking candy into school. That's why you're a bad kid. Damn.
No,
Too many
no, but
Tootsie Rolls. Holy.
just when I look back on it, I'm like, I was like that kid that was annoying. Like you always had to watch him. You know, like there's certain kids in class that are that wild card, and you're like, what's that little fucker got going on?
Yeah, for all the teachers. I think there's people that hated you because you could be a little bit of a dick, but most people liked you. Almost everybody, like Kemper was like the popular kid, you know what I'm saying, in school, where
Yeah.
everyone was like, I'm friends with
Hey.
that guy, but it's because you've hung out with him, he'll talk to random people on the street.
Yeah.
He's just a very social person. So because if you're social anyway, some people are gonna gravitate towards you, right?
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been talkative and curious in that way. Like I'm very interactive. But when I was little, I was just a wild card.
You were angry interactive is what it was. I don't know. But yeah, teacher, you just, teachers would be like, this little fucking shit. Can I swear on this? That's too
Yeah,
like
you
this
can.
little
Yeah.
fucking shit. I don't know.
Well, the thing was when we would all play, it was like some people know when it's time to like levels to play. When I was little, I was like I couldn't help it. Like I was so accident prone myself that when other people would get hurt, I'd be like, "I'm sorry. Damn it. It happened again." You know? That's always how I responded was like, "It happened again."
Damn.
Why do I keep doing this?
Yeah. That
But
level of
no,
like trying to stop, like finding like the sweet spot when to stop playing around for a lot of people
mhm.
actually is pretty hard.
But it was
I
like
noticed.
True.
it was what was done to me. For instance, like when we were little, I remember we were all having a rock fight. This is the type of stuff that we would do.
I wasn't a part.
Jeez.
I wasn't a part of no rock fight. That's all
You
I'm
weren't there.
saying.
You weren't there for this one. This is just the block. You know, I'm about to tell about the how we would play like capture the flag because that was cool. But anyways, we were playing like rock fights out in the street, and everybody was throwing shit. Bro, I hucked this rock, and it went like because I was angry. My friend hit me with a stinger, and so I threw it trying to hit him, and it cracked the windshield of this car. Just
Oh.
and everyone just looked at each other and scattered. No one said shit. All rocks hit the ground. Everyone started coming up with like alibis. Everyone was out. So we go inside, act like smooth, nothing happened, bro. It was a goofy ass situation. Then the next morning, the neighbor came in and was like, "I know you did it," and just like looked at us. And yeah, it was stupid. I was a thug about it though. I was trying to say no, bro, but couldn't help it.
That's hilarious, bro.
My mom was like, "I know you did that shit."
Your mom even ratted you out. She's like, my stupid little son, always getting in trouble.
That little shit.
She could tell just by the way I responded to it, but I wasn't gonna crack. My mom whipped my ass for that. But when we were little, we would always go over to each other's houses, Timmy and I, and he was a big fan of like GameCube.
That's right.
Yeah, like all the Nintendo stuff. Where I was very much like a Microsoft Xbox all the way.
You guys had PlayStation too.
We did. But we didn't play it quite as much. There were certain games that were cool. Like I remember SOCOM. The SOCOM games were legit on PlayStation 2. That's a game series that I think they need to bring back. Wait, hold on. We haven't even gotten into the fact that Timmy tests video games for a living. Like he basically took our
Holy shit.
childhood like fun and monetized it in his life.
I do work QA for games. I've been working in QA for games for 5 years. First worked through a contractor, Microsoft and Amazon Games. Now I work for a company called Steel Wool Studios.
That's dope as fuck.
Thanks.
And what does that entail for people that don't?
So there's this famous video game called Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's is more popular with the younger generation, but it's like these animatronics try to put people inside their suits. A horror game for kids, essentially. So that's what I primarily been testing lately. But I've worked on Solitaire. That Solitaire that comes with your computer, my name's in the credits. I worked on Age of Empire, Definitive Edition, the remake, and other shit. But yeah,
That's tight. Is it like trying to find glitches in the game, or what are you trying to do though? What do
so
get
when
paid
you
to
work
do?
quality assurance, that's what QA stands for. So like you can be QA for vitamins, right? When you're QA for vitamins, for example, you have to look at the label, make sure there's no misspelling, make sure it's tightly sealed, make sure that when it's mass produced, there's not a problem with the mass production. It's kind of the same thing where it's like, yeah, I try to find bugs, but also you got to like make sure it's like a checklist sometimes. Sometimes you get to like just freely be like, oh, I have this idea. Let's see if it breaks it. But essentially, QA tries to make the game the best possible experience for the end users. You know what I mean? Because, like this is a good example. You ever start up a game and it's like agreement page, press A to confirm, press A to confirm. If that's at the start of your game, it's instantly a turnoff where I'm like, I'm already fucking annoyed at this. You're already prepped to not have a good time. So as
Yo, why does
QA, we try to.
Rockstar Games do that though?
I know they do. Yeah, exactly.
Every fucking game.
Yeah, that's QA is supposed to be the ones who are like, all right, let's try to limit this. Or like, okay, maybe we should put this agreement screen later so it doesn't feel like a chore, So stuff like that.
I felt like it took so long to get into Red Dead 2.
Yeah, that's a massive game on its own.
Yeah.
You're loading so much information.
Well,
game's
I
massive.
have forgiveness there, but I'm talking about even just cut scenes, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
pacing of the beginning. And
This is the
it's
game
getting
about
ready
cutscenes?
to become a cowboy, bro. Legit. If you play that game.
That game is so good. I love that game.
Dude, I'm like it was the first game that I've ever been annoyed with being a bad guy. I'm always the bad guys in games, but now I'm just like trying to ride my horse through the countryside and look at a bear or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And dude, I swear these like rednecks just come out of nowhere and shoot my shit up.
Yeah, bro.
I was just minding my own business.
You're just trotting along on Starfish or whatever you named your
I'm
horse.
like, they don't have text messages. How do these dudes know? Like, how long did they camp to get here? They just roll up.
Wow. Yeah, they're just there. On your
What
ass.
type of games do you normally play, Zach?
I play a lot of GTA roleplay and a lot of Valorant, mostly Valorant right now.
Oh shit! What agent do you main?
Chamber.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sniper guy, respectable. Love to hear it.
Yeah, I've been messing around with Jet, and I'm trying to unlock Reyna, and then I'm gonna test out Reyna, see how I am.
Dope.
Dude, Timmy has so many like videos of him playing COD back in the day.
I
Just
used
doing
to
all
YouTube
kinds of
COD too.
Hey, let's go. Wait, do you got some commentaries on there?
Not commentaries. It was a lot of montages though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the shit back in the day.
I was low key embarrassed about it though. Like I tried to not. I had this mindset where it's like, don't talk about video games at school, but that's like all I did. I would ditch school to go play video games. I'm like, when I'm at school, do not talk about. But people would come up to me because I had like this popular video pop off, and they'd be like, dude, yo, this Timmy guy's like they try to embarrass me by, I'd be like, yo, have you seen this video? It's a Call of Duty. Like, I'd be like, stop, please.
That's like one of the problems growing up that's resolved itself now, was that video games seemed like something to be embarrassed for, like about. And
I
nowadays, if you're
never
not a
felt
gamer, you're
that.
kind of a loser. It's like it's reversed almost.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever been caught in a situation though where I felt that I wasn't supposed to talk about video games though. Like that's just one field of conversation because I talk about some wild shit. So I've never gotten caught in a conversation where it's like, "Oh shit, Stacy's here," and I'm in the middle of like talking to Timmy, so I gotta like push him out the window.
Yeah.
No, we weren't talking about Pac-Man.
Well, no,
Fucking
I think it's
Wolf
different for you
Land.
though. Like,
Huh?
cause I think it's a little different for you because you never like you didn't really play it as hardcore.
Bro,
Maybe.
you don't know. I used
Yes,
I
I
to.
will
don't know.
say Kemper doesn't play hardcore anymore, but he
Yeah.
used to fiend for it for sure. Kemper had this weird eye where he would like know these gems that no one like back then gave a fuck about. Like there's this hit JRPG called Tales of Symphonia. Kemper
Oh, he's
wanted to
talking
play
about that.
that 24/7. And I
Damn.
was like,
Mhm.
why? And now Tales of Symphonia is one of the most like iconic Japanese RPGs ever created, you know? So he would
You
just like
know.
have this knack for these like niche games that he was like, this is really good. I want to keep playing this. But yeah, not he
Uh-huh.
kind of
Okay.
around high school he kind of cut off
Fell
video
off.
games.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. So maybe I'm wrong.
I strayed into the forest,
True.
started running wild.
Started going to parties and whatever. What else?
Fighting people and getting knocked out by big Russian dudes and shit.
That's right.
There's all kinds of different occasions. But it's really funny though, like because what I've been thinking about lately is how precious having someone that you've like been with that you can share and be like, you remember when? You know, like having someone to be able to like cherish those moments of life that
Remember memories
contextualize
with.
who you are. Because it's one
Yeah.
thing to go from like place to place to place, you know, job to job, relationship to relationship, whatever it is, and cherry pick. But if it's only you when you turn around, it's like, it's a weird feeling because in a part of you, all of that stuff still lives and it's still alive. But when you want to actually reach out and touch it and like have it again in the physical, it vanishes right, like between your fingertips, and you're like, "What the fuck," you know? And then you find this feeling of longing. And I think when you have friends and people that are loved ones that you're able to actually like really stay in touch with, and it doesn't matter the time in between. Like when I talk to Timmy, it's like we were just in class yesterday.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't completely agree, but I know what you're saying. Like it's nice to like have someone you'd be like, oh, I experienced this with you. We can talk about it. Because there's a lot of people that grow up like I'm not sure about you, Zach, but do you still have friends from elementary school?
No.
Exactly. So you're a loser. So we can like get this like, oh, we remember that. It's cool. It's cool to know someone else experienced it with you, you know, and you can still get that to this day.
Yeah. No, I was a super loner going through school, especially in high school. Middle school and younger wasn't the same. But when I went to high
Yeah.
school, no friends all through high school.
Off. That's a bummer, man. I
Yeah.
know the feel. Senior year, because like I said, Kemper's older. All my friends are older. Senior year, I got a taste of that. Where it's like I was alone at lunch, but halfway through, I was like, you know what, this ain't so bad. But yeah, that's a
Yeah.
bummer, homie.
Yeah.
You know,
College
it's
changed it all though. So
Good shit. Good shit. Puberty out of the way. Hormones not
exactly.
there. You
Yeah.
can be yourself. Yeah, I
I
feel you.
figured myself out because I had so much time alone to think and figure my shit out.
dude, I think that Timmy's always underestimated his nerd swag. Like Timmy, in a sense, is like what I imagine. He's like nerd Jesus. You know what I mean? Because like when Jesus would walk,
I
like
agree. I
people would
agree.
follow. And like I swear, in high school, it was so cool because like I had so many different people that I was always, you know, like bouncing around. It was just like as I would walk to do whatever I was doing, I would just say what's up to everybody along the way, right? And when I in the midst of me being lost, it's like I came back one day and I was just chilling in the hallway, and I remember Timmy walking through, and Timmy's got long ass hands. Like Timmy's hands are massive, bro. So when he's like walking through the hallway, he was just like walking through hella cool, almost like a Sasquatch walk, you know? And I caught him squatching, and there was like
I don't know to be offended
almost
or
like
not. I don't.
a ripple of kids. You know, like how a boat has like the
Yeah,
waves
the
behind it,
wake.
like a
Yeah,
wake.
yeah.
He had like a wake of like kids that would, you know, because it's a packed hallway, so they're like trying to like follow to say something to him, and they're like jumping on top of each other, almost like going through people. It was this crazy thing, and I just
I was
happened to witness
imagining a
it.
river behind me.
It was like a river of people, and I was like, all right, I was like, that's so dope, you know. And it's so funny because you talk about me knowing some shit ahead of time. You with like your streaming and stuff, you were way ahead of the curve on that.
I guess so.
Even though, what was that channel back in the day? Was it G3 or
Oh, yeah,
E3?
yeah, yeah. They brought it back. It's a channel again, but yeah, I think G4, G4.
G4. So back in the day, there was a tech channel called G4 on TV, and they used to stream all these like different tournaments and shit like that. I used to love watching that when I was little. Like it was esports way back in the day, and that was one of the game. You know, that SOCOM game was one of the games that they would play. Um, and I loved watching it, and it just brought like I don't know tactics and teamwork and just a whole nother level of like the experience to life. Because we'd only really got to play each other. We didn't have Xbox Live until we got a little bit older. Like I remember when I was really like when gaming was changing super rapidly and like leaps and bounds was like I went from playing N64, sneaking to my friend's house for PlayStation or playing like Dreamcast at Timmy's on occasion, um, to Xbox, which was like Unreal Tournament came out. That game was like fucking crazy. Halo came out. Fucking crazy. I was playing Paperboy. Like what? So to be so young and have so much dope shit, like it was just mad influential on me. And so it's cool that you being even younger than me were able to see that and kind of get plugged in through your family, you know, with your brothers and with your brother and sister, and start creating on a really, really high level.
Yeah, my brother was really the one that was like hyper focused on doing that stuff, and then I was like, I like this too, and then you just stick with it.
hmm But a lot of people don't have that stick with it about, you
True,
know, like
true.
we have it about different things, but finding something that's actually like meaningful to you and
I
having
get
your stick with it in that department, you know, like when it's your like you can make a career out of your passion because it's just that meaningful to you.
true. I do see what you're saying. I appreciate that. Yeah, but
You
the only thing is that a lot. I'm not trying to undermine what you're saying, but a
know?
lot of kids nowadays, video games is the shit. You know what I mean? And like even
hmm
back then, not that everyone wanted to admit it, it was the shit. You know.
hmm
So there's a lot of people that tried to go that way. It's just that I see what you're trying to say. I s- I started making content for it way earlier than other people because most people like they saw people blow up in Call of Duty making videos like I can do that, but what you're trying to say is I was a little bit ahead of the curve where I was already like I like doing this before, whatever.
Yeah, I swear to God, like when you were doing that, it was like Call of Duty 1 was out or something. Like 1 or 2 when you
2 was
guys
the
were
multiplayer one, yeah.
yeah, when you guys started making Sonic videos and overdubbing. Like think
I
about
I
how
was I was like I was like 10 years old or something like that. I don't know. I was pretty young. I might not even been a double digit yet.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you were in like the single digits. You might have been like 8 years old, 9 years old. And so like when you think about what you were actually doing from now, you know, you've just been doing it for so long. But like if you
Yeah.
saw it from the outside looking in, like imagine being like a parent and just peeking your head in on what your kid's doing and they're doing that shit. I'd be like,
saying bad words and uploading it to YouTube.
I think I had Jimmy Neutron, bro. I'd be like, my kid's Jimmy Neutron, yo. Like,
hey, that just shows Kemper's gonna be a good parent. He's gonna hype up his kid. It's gonna be like, I really like baseball. The mind on this one. Oh my goodness.
Next Babe Ruth. You're Babe Ruth.
That's right.
yeah, my little Bambino. I just run up tackle. But no, I think you have a remarkable gift to make shit simple.
Thank you. I agree with that. I like
Like
that.
Timmy is one of the most patient people in the world. Timmy's also another reason why I think I'm friends with you, Zach. Is like y'all are just two like really chill demeanor people. And it's interesting though, because like Timmy, when I feel like I just haven't gone out with Timmy in a long time. But when Timmy's around people and in society, he's got a level of freedom that a lot of people don't exercise. Like he will do some goofy shit just to do it. You know, like there's so many memories. And yes, this is me looking at like high school us, right? Like when we would be at like lunch. Lunch was a special time because we would just go wild at lunch. It was like a pack of people just mobbing.
Dude,
And,
everyone hated us because these fuckers walk so slow. And when he says a mob of people, we would like fill up a hallway and they would walk so slow that people would be like, can you fuckers please hurry up? And they just look back and be like, oh, my bad. And they just keep walking slow. And it's like, oh my God. Like the fucking car in the fast lane going 20 and you're like, who do they think they are? Yeah,
like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah, just some obnoxious shit. But
keep going. Sorry for interrupting. I always thought it was funny.
Hey, you should tell that story about drama class because I think that's one of the keepers.
Drama class?
You don't have to.
I have like 2 drama class stories. I'll tell the one that I don't know which one he's talking about, to be honest, but I have 2 drama class stories. I was in drama class, right? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, that's not actually that weird. So I was walking back and forth, memorizing my lines, right? So some thing I had to do. I took drama to get the easy A. And I walked to the top of the auditorium. There were 5 kids with their legs spread out over each other like this, with one jar of Nutella, passing a circle, like dipping 2 fingers, taking a lick, passing it. And I was just like,
what?
And I just walk up and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, you want some? And I was like, no, I don't want any. I just walked away. I was just like, that's the weird, like, it's such a weird fucking, like, when people talk about drama kids, that's what I imagine. I'm just like what possessed you guys? What possessed you guys to want to overlap legs? I can understand a bunch of people maybe wanting to share Nutella. Like, sure, I guess with your fingers, that's gross, but who cares about germs, I guess, at this year?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, but like just the fact that they were in a star like formation with their legs, I'm just like, what hey, have fun. I don't know. Came to the wrong part of the neighborhood. Was that the drama class story you wanted me to share? Oh, I know which one he wanted me.
I'm talking about introductions.
Okay, so first day. This is like the first day of school, right? Me and Kemper were in drama. I kind of forgot about this story. I'm not gonna lie until I just remembered. We were in class, right? And everyone's going around introducing each other. And Kemper, like, it was about to be his turn, right? He looks towards me and whispers in my ear, "Yo, Timmy, just say that you have a really big dick." And then he goes and introduces himself like normal. He's like, "Hey, I'm Kemper. I really like football," you know, whatever the fuck he said. And then I'm just like, "Hey, my name's Timmy. I have a really large dick. Thank you." And I sit down, and everyone in the class laughed. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's so funny." But the teacher just was like, "What is wrong with you?" She took me out of class. I had to call home.
This is what it was. He goes, "What did you just say?" And he stands up and says it louder. He goes, "I have a really big penis." And the whole class is like losing it. Bro, it was so fucking funny. Because, look, Timmy had a high voice for a long time. Until his nuts just hit the floor one day. I swear to God, like he had a really high pitched voice, and then one day it was just like, "Yo," and I was like, "What?"
It happened over winter break because I left my cell phone in my locker and I couldn't talk to my girlfriend at the time, so I totally forgot. Like, she's like, "This isn't you." So that's how I know what the day was. It was over winter break. It was like over 2 weeks. My voice was like this, and just like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" Yeah,
That's crazy.
His voice just started chilling, bro.
I came to school. All the teachers just didn't. Everyone, I had 3 teachers take me out of class. Be like, "What do you think you're doing?" I'm like, no one told me. I didn't notice. It's my voice, so I didn't notice. I was like, "What?" I was like, "What is happening?" Like why am I getting picked on after school break? And then finally, like the
Did my mom tell you?
no, the geography teacher's like, "Why are you talking with such a deep voice? Do you think it's cool?" And I'm like, "Deep voice." And then I asked my brother, I was like, "Did my voice get deeper?" And he's like, "Yeah, a lot." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's what he was just like. "Oh, I thought you noticed." And I was like, "No, I didn't notice. That's weird."
Everyone else did though.
Yeah,
That's great.
Dude, I love your commitment to your hair too. Shout out
thanks,
to you. It
man.
takes a long time to let your hair get that long, bro.
I've got it cut a couple times, but yeah, once it like starts going under my armpit when I wake up, like in the morning, I'm like, "That's gross." So then I get it cut.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
It's a very hygienic decision.
yeah. I'm just like, I have deodorant in my hair. I think I should probably get it cut. That's probably a good moment.
Oh yeah, that'd be grimy. Dude, alright. Give me some of your favorite video games. Video games that I might not think of too.
Uh, I don't know. I know my favorite games, but I don't think you've played them. My favorite game of all time is Transistor. It's like this 5-hour single player game. It's really cool. I love Minesweeper. That's my ish. Love Minesweeper. Yeah, Call of Duty 4 was my childhood. I probably played that more than any other game. So a lot of Call of Duty 4. Resident Evil 4. Can't go wrong there. There you go. What about you, Zach?
My all-time favorite game is Skyrim.
It's a good one.
Halo 3 is in my top 5. Black Ops 2 is in my top 5. I didn't play a whole lot of games like that when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, because I lived in a small town and we didn't get fucking internet for a long time. And so the first online game I played was Halo 3 when my brother bought an Xbox 360 when he got his first job. And I was like 10. That's when I started playing.
Your brother's like 8 years older than you, 10 years older than you?
6. He's 16. He
Oh,
was
okay.
16 when he bought his, or 17, something like that. 16 or 17.
I was like game spoiled because we had Blockbuster at the end of my street, and Blockbuster came out with a deal where it was like unlimited swaps because what was it? It wasn't GameStop. It was like GameFly came out
Yeah.
where they would like mail you the shit
Like
to your
the
house.
Netflix of video games.
Yeah. It was Netflix or something like that, but like the video game version,
Yeah.
right? And so when that came out, it was like the biggest thing ever, and they had to compete with it. So we would just go down to the block, go play a game. Oh, this game sucks. So I played the good games and all the shitty games that like you would never even buy. They would be like $15. You know what I mean? Those games back in the day. I played all of them. Like my brother really, really played them, but I got to play a lot of them.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that was one of the things. Like my mom always was like, "All right, y'all can have an Xbox." Like made sure to help us out with that. Like my house was always like an awesome space. You know, life might have gotten like hectic and we might not have had like everything. We might not have gone out to eat all the time or things like that, but what we had at my house was like a special little place for mayhem. Like,
And
Timmy,
play with rocks.
do you remember fighting with the surfboards? like
each other.
like the boogie boards or whatever.
Oh,
That you
I
like,
remember you guys fighting with it. I don't remember me. I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not sure. Maybe I was.
bro. We used to like have these little things that you would like hold out in the pool and like paddle your feet with,
Yeah.
the boogie
Mhm.
board things. We used to have a bunch of them, and my mom got us these just to bash the shit out of each other with. Yeah, so like my house would be like a battle royale when you would go over there. That's why like a lot of my friends I think really did enjoy love like really staying at the house. We had good food and it was just a battle royale every time.
I would
That's
eat all
great.
their peanut bars, and Kemper's mom would get really mad at me. And then one day I stopped eating them because she would yell at me. And then she was like, "Why aren't you eating those peanut bars anymore? I bought you this for you." I'm like, "You yell at me when I eat them. What do you mean?"
She's like, I bought those for you.
Uh,
I'm telling you, that's what it's like to be an Italian son. That's your taste of it
don't
right
eat all the food. Why aren't you eating the food? I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me, lady.
there.
That's fantastic. That's
But
hilarious.
yeah, we used to do things like play what's it called? Capture the flag. On my birthday, every year we would play capture the flag at night, and we would have it like we would go down to the Dollar Tree and get like glow sticks and build like a glow stick flag. I felt like that
That's
was
dope.
always really cool, but it was always a semi disaster.
There's always people. So we would get these like glow sticks, go to the park. It was like midnight. They made it a point that it had to be at midnight. I don't know why. They would like face paint, wear all black and gray. I learned the tip that you should wear gray at night because if you're wearing pitch black, you're kind of more blend. Like people can see you easier than dark gray. So that's why I learned that. Um, so they would like try to like stealthily do it, right? So they would like bury these glow sticks underground and stuff, and like the wildest shit, right? But the creepy thing is, looking back on it, we would go to like public parks and stuff, and there was always people there at like 2 a.m. just being like, "What are you guys doing?" And it's like, "What are you guys fucking doing at 2 a.m.?" Like these full grown adults, 2 a.m. at a park, and they're probably just like doing drugs. We were too young to know, and they're like, "You guys with the feds?" Like, I just like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, imagine
They're
how many people we snuck up on over the years, like little fucking commandos and shit, while they're
bro.
tripping on
Imagine
meth.
how scary that is to be like, I'm high out of your mind, and you just see these like little kids with face paint just come up and be like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious. There was a lot for I only did it a few times, but they used to play night tag in my like on my street, and so they would all meet up at this like one popular bus stop, and we would just run in people's backyards and hide in bushes and shit and just play tag at night.
Hell yeah.
Man, people must have heard you, but there's another fucking raccoon back there.
Out here, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. So
Wait, y'all don't have raccoons where you're from?
in Cascade Locks?
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
said Oklahoma.
No. I moved from
I was-
Oklahoma when I was 6, dude.
But that's why I was like, why wouldn't they have raccoons? I think aren't raccoons like a species that's everywhere? Where doesn't have raccoons?
That's a good question. I could Google it.
Arizona probably doesn't have raccoons; they have scorpions instead. But I could be wrong. Hey,
Yeah, probably just the warm places.
raccoons
they
are
got
funny.
fur coats.
I have a store nearby my house. Sometimes I go there at like 2 a.m. or something like that, right? What if I'm up? And it's so funny just seeing the little raccoons like going through the garbage, and they just look at you like, and they just scatter all the way across the block. I'm like, I'm not gonna do
They
anything. I
run
don't get
on
it.
their
But
hind legs and shit and use their paws as hands.
they can be
Yeah,
scary. They
Dude,
can't. Sorry, go ahead.
they're aggressive sometimes. But no, you're right. They're not in Arizona, Utah, or Nevada, like the Rocky Mountain / southwestern states. Yeah, there you go. Dude, my dad has said he's seen some like big ass raccoons out here in Cascade Locks, like because I live right across the street from like a campground. There's a ton of trees and everything, and you can just, yeah, They just all live over there.
On a side note, I'm curious to ask. I'm just on side note mode tonight.
Yeah, you
But
are.
anyways, Timmy, what do you think about, and do you even know about, say, Ukraine and what's going on over
Of
there?
course. I hear
Yeah,
the news every once in a while.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts, my guy?
On Ukraine, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's just this dictator guy just being like, I'm gonna go fucking start a war. People in Russia don't want it to happen. So, like, if this war keeps going on, people are gonna be like, fuck Russia, fuck the Russians. It's like the people there don't want it to go on either. It's weird. It's a weird
Yeah,
spot. And it's just like this weird one-sided thing, and it's I don't know how it hasn't stopped yet, to be honest. But yeah, they're like, no one wants to interfere. No one wants to fucking be like, hey, let's go help out because we don't want to start another world war. So everyone's just being like, hey guys, let's take a moment and see what's really like. Hopefully, everyone's just hoping for it to ease down. And this one dude's like just committed to his mistake. He's like, I just gotta keep killing. It's fucking weird, man.
You know what's
yeah,
even
bro.
weirder is when you realize that he has a history of doing this with other countries around Russia that were formerly in the Soviet Union.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's done this to, I think, like a couple other countries in the past.
Dude. But like, I guess why I'm asking you in particular is like you play a lot of video games, and I feel like
Hey, I'm gonna go quick scope them.
not
That's the next
everybody,
call. Put me
not
in, coach.
everybody's gonna
I'll take
follow
care
me
of the
on this joint.
Russians.
But feel me real quick, right? In like every Call of Duty that I can remember for the past few years, I feel like this has been being like pushed. You know, like that the Cold War is like supposed to happen. And I'm like, I think this was something that is like strangely like the media almost also set the stage for it.
You know what would have been even
You
crazier?
know, and I'm curious if anyone sees that in the same way. Like,
I kind of get what you're saying. You're saying that, like, you think it's kind of like pushed agenda where the media's kind of been hinting towards this for a while, and it's like it's pretty much like when people say you can talk your own history, like talk things into existence, that type of stuff.
mm-hmm.
I guess,
You
but
know, like the Olympics was like that. You know, going way back in the day, like even
the
in like the
Olympics.
Olympics, yeah, we had like a huge hockey thing versus the Russians back in the day.
Yeah, that was right around the Cold War time, I think. Was it
Like,
not? I don't
bro,
know.
I'm telling you, there's some shit that went down on like many layers of culture, you know, that's just been perpetuated like that. I feel like we've made it to be like a mysterious thing rather than like embracing, you know, like how can we cancel our like our brothers and sisters, you know? Cuz that's who they are, really.
I
You
feel you
know, it's just
a
the
little
people
bit.
that are on some fucking stupid shit, like military wise, you know, all because Putin's just saying to do some shit. You know, it's retarded. Fuck
Yeah.
that. You know, like that's like when people talk about gun control in America to me, and they talk about like, oh, people are gonna come and like take your gun. It's like, dude, you're asking Americans, like people's brothers and sisters, to do that to like each other. It would have to be Americans doing it to Americans. Like, bro, that won't happen.
No, well.
There's just, it just wouldn't happen, you know, because it feels weird. And everything that's going on right now, it just feels weird, man. It's like, what are you
Feels a
doing?
little weird when you kill some people. Yeah, little tiny tingle in my chest. It's a little weird. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it feels a little weird when people come for your shit and then act like nothing's happening, or like, you know, don't pay attention to this over here or highlight this. You know, I feel like there's a lot of random stuff going on, and it's like we're witnessing what can happen if we don't check power properly. You know?
Okay, that's you did lose me, but you got me back there at the end. I was a little like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But yeah, I see what you're saying. So yeah. So I agree, and it is scary. Everyone already knows the news is corrupt, right? This podcast is corrupt. And then
Absolutely.
no, but it's scary seeing it like in our whole time, and it's like we've seen it before with the Afghanistan war, right? It's on the news the first couple months, then they just cut it. They don't even talk about it. It's like it's not even happening. It's still going on, but guess what? Ukraine's now the hot topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not really a new thing. Um, it's just we forget about it. We don't want to remember it either. Like, I don't want to have to talk about the war every day. Sometimes it's cool. New war's breaking out. Now that's that hotness. Hey, can't wait for 10 years when there's a movie about it. I'm going to watch that back and be like, hey, guys, I remember when that happened. That's crazy. But, sorry, I went off on a little rant. Don't mind me. What was the question here?
I don't know if
Yeah,
there was
no,
one. I think we were just doing our thing.
Okay.
I don't know, but like really, I think there's a huge disconnect because it's like what a lot of the people in power are doing isn't representative of the people that make that person powerful. You
True.
know, like the people of our military are like of the utmost deserving of praise, you know, for who they are and what they do that we'll never know about, you know? And I think that we never can forget that, overlook that, or stop appreciating that, you know? And because like we take for granted a lot of shit. Like one of the things that I love about working in the gun store and talking to all the like vets that do come in, especially the old vets, is like asking them where they've been and what they did in that time. Because there's all these pockets of history that like you would never know that this ship stopped in fucking some country that we never heard about a war in and built all kinds of stuff, helped these people, took out these people that were bad over here. Like America does a lot of fucking shit, bro. Like global politics are complicated and it's not a like pageantry thing. It's actually like an honorable thing if actually um shit gets applied properly from an intentions level. Like I feel like people feel cheated of like the purity in from like media. Sorry, you guys. I feel like I'm talking a lot right now, but
No,
like
let it
media.
out, bro.
I'm sorry. I gotta
Hey,
let.
say your truth, man. I don't.
Yeah,
Power
I
to
don't
you,
know. It's
brother.
been off my chest lately because I've been really thinking about it. It's like, bro, that fucks me up. Like on a real level, thinking about like the families and the babies and shit over there, and like people whose dad is just like you just can't see your dad and you don't know if you will. Like that's kind of that's a reality for a lot of people right now. And that's like it's been on my mind. And I'm feeling like the way we talk about it is almost like we have to take a disconnected stance so it doesn't affect us negatively in our lives right now because we got so much shit going on in our own backyards. But yo, America is like in a weird position and the world is no different. The world's just showing it to us piece by piece and getting this like movie ready, so we got to be ready to move too. Um and right now just the way people are treating it is kind of like half-hearted. I don't like it.
I agree with you, and I see what you're saying. But yeah, it's hard to have that. Like, I want to really invest myself in this because, like, personally, I don't want to go fight. Like that's just me. But the one thing I will say is that I've said this many a times, but the scariest thought I could have that I think almost anyone can have is that there's gunfire and wars right outside your own home. And thankfully for where we live, we don't have to fucking deal with that. But like you were saying, that's a reality. They won't see their parents, they won't see their kids because there's a war outside. And it's like people in the Ukraine, it's only Russia that's not like posting on social media and stuff. They're like having, they're like limited to what they can say and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People in Ukraine are freely talking about it and showing videos and stuff like that. They have to literally flee to a whole nother part of the fuck, like trying to, let's like, oh, there's this fire on this side. Let's run all the way to the other side, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking terrifying. But yeah, as Americans, as people in other places that aren't really affected directly by this,
Mm-hmm.
if I was up every day, like freaking out about this, I would just go crazy. So what else are we supposed to do, you know? Besides, unless you have the aspiration to go fight yourself. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
well, fuck, I hope it ends. This is shitty. And that's all you can really do, you know?
yeah. But I don't know. I think like why I was kind of asking you is I'm curious in terms of like different demographics, different cultures, different age groups of people, um, like what their kind of take is on it. And I don't expect you to necessarily have had the same thing, but in association, when you're dealing with people over time, you kind of get accustomed and have like a cultural understanding of how you handle certain topics,
Okay, I
you
see
know?
what you're saying.
And it's weird because in culture, everything's always changing. Like a couple days ago, the big thing was like Chris Rock getting slapped. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And people are gonna forget about that. But there's like within your friend group there and audience, there's probably people like you can anticipate how to interact and how to have a dialogue on this topic. And so like I was just trying to
You're
tap
wondering
into
how
your
the brain works like that? I've always said this, you know, I'm an open book, but yeah, I try not to talk about it. You're right. That's literally, I think, everyone's approach. Hey, there's something that might be like politics. People tell you to stay away from politics. If people ask, I talk about it, but I'm not one. I don't like talking about politics, so I will never bring it up intentionally. And number
yeah,
two, I've definitely said stuff, and then people in chat or something will have a different agreement, and it's cool to talk about that, but in a verbal conversation, it's fine, but trying to talk to people through text is kind of like weird. So it's mostly just avoid. But yeah, sometimes I'll say something, then someone shows up as like super right-sided Republican, and I'm cool with that. I don't mind if people are I don't feel like I'm a Democrat or Republican at the end of the day. I just,
hmm
fuck, I don't know. I just whatever feels good at the time.
In the
But
middle.
yeah, I vote for the Green Party every year. That's the honest truth. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I'll tell people what I do, but yeah, I see what you're saying. The main I'll talk about it, but only when people bring it up. That's my philosophy. I think the best view is just to tell people you won't talk about it, because you could say one thing, like say I'm gonna vote for this person, and you will have floods of people unfollow you just because you have that opinion different from them. You know?
yeah. I I don't know. I feel like I need to come up with some kind of like brainstorm on how to contribute some kind of something, you know?
Well,
And I'm sure there's outlets and things that I can do in that way, but it's one thing to like I'm of the mind state you can do more if you actually like build something. And that something's going to take time, to make you money. And yeah, it may take a little bit of money if you're doing it on a grand scale, but in terms of like donations or something, like building a little page or something like that, it just takes time to like learn shit. Um, and I think that its capacity to earn is greater than my capacity to give right now financially. Does that make
hmm
sense?
yeah.
So that's like where mind goes with things. But it's just kind of trippy because you also drive past how many homeless people a day. How many hungry people a day do you drive past? And not saying that they're all like good or you need to throw sandwiches at everybody buying Burger King or whatever. But really, how many people are like down bad?
When you go downtown here in Portland, it's flooded with homeless
It's
people.
it is bad.
But the one thing I do want to note, and this is what I'm saying, sometimes you have to say things out loud to see if you're a shittier person or not. A lot of them are younger than I am. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are in rough scenarios, but some people just prefer to be homeless. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying every single one. That's not what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say. But there's definitely some dudes out there where you're like, you just you like the ambition of not having to, you could just do whatever you want and you're living life well, not well, but living life to your happiness. And that's what I'm saying. I can't say this without feeling shitty because it makes me say all homeless people choose to be homeless. That's not what I'm trying to
no,
say. But there's some of them out there where you're like, this is what they want to be doing, you know?
I am hella judging you, but no, I'm just playing.
I always say it. Sometimes you
No,
gotta say
dude, I
you
feel like sometimes it's a trip looking at like the homeless situation because someone who's like a family member of mine was homeless that I love. to death. You know, that's like my brother right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, so a part of me wants to be with the people that are like, man, go through those camps and just fucking annihilate them. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
get them
I
out
don't
of
think
this
that's
fucking
the
city.
call.
But, well, like, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, just get them the fuck out. You know, like, get them out of here.
Well, a
Go
lot of
somewhere.
Let the
Shoot.
neighborhood take care of it. You know, the people whose yards they've been shitting on and breaking all kinds of bottles where their kids play and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Diminishing their property values.
a lot of the
You know,
problem
like,
though is other cities literally sending homeless people here.
hmm
There's like
but
I
it's
think it was
like
like a place in Arizona was doing it, putting them
when
on
you actually
buses and
know
shit.
people, like during the pandemic in the beginning, I watched so many people that came into like the dispensary, um, wind up becoming homeless. And then I would drive by them at night and be like, yo, like, I know who that is. That's not just like a stranger to me. Like, it just would blow my mind,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
that's
know?
trippy.
And then when you pull up on them because they got a sign and you know, throw them a couple bucks or whatever, and you ask them, what's going on? Like, how bad are you in this situation? Are you recently? Because if someone's like recently on the street, sometimes there's things that you can do to help them out, you know, that you can't do with someone that's all the
A
way
veteran.
been on the streets for a while. Yeah, it's hard to live sober on the streets. Um, and I tell you what, man, this dude was like, I was just working as a cook, and then I was working at a strip club, and then I was
You worked at a
working.
strip club?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
Like
that.
as a bouncer, he was a ex army dude.
Oh, I
And
thought you were talking about yourself. My bad.
no, no, no. The dude that came in, and he used to
Got you,
always
got
get
you.
joints and stuff, and he was super cool. He was clean cut, always had his hair, you know, like slick back and everything. And I just happened to drive by him, and he was a cool dude, and I was like, "Whoa, fuck," you know, like, and just sometimes shit happens to people, and it's like when it's human and close to you, it's hard to dissociate from. And I guess where this is all coming from is the thought process of there's a lot of people talking about you got to save yourself first and put your oxygen mask on first and all this kind of stuff. But I think there's something to be said where it's like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can do something for someone else. Like, shit doesn't have to be all the way rosy for it to come about. Like, you can do something, and it might not be for someone, but like for the world. Like, you can do something no matter where you're at in your situation. You know what I mean? To help people, and I feel like that's the message that I really want to like get across, and you do it in cool ways, like just you tonight being willing to like live stream this, like that's a cool outlet. Like, I didn't ask you to do that, you just brought it to me. We're like, yo, you want me to do this? And I'm like, when someone brings you something and you make it more, that's love, you know.
My head was just, hey, I usually stream around this time, but it'd be cool to stream this too. But yeah.
Dude.
That's osmosis of dopeness. But
Hey,
Osmosis of dopeness.
bringing back the one line.
hey, that's my trademark right there, osmosis
Oh,
of
shit.
dopeness. I'm telling you, someday people will catch on to it.
We'll put it on a shirt.
I'll put it in
There
a
you go.
movie, motherfucker.
Nah, dude, Osmosis Jones won't be happy about that, bro. Don't put that in a movie.
That'd be a whole other bloodstream and shit.
That's right. That's right. I like
Osmosis of
that.
dopeness. Hey, what's your green screen usually got going on? Are you about to edit this or some shit? What's going down?
So I have another camera set up, and to them, I don't have a background. But on this camera, this webcam is just showing this way. So I don't know. I just, it looks weird on this camera for sure, but on the other camera, it looks fine. I have used it to put funny backgrounds in stuff, like taking thumbnail pictures for YouTube and stuff. Just
Yeah.
fucking, and then easy with the green screen.
That reduces
Chroma key that bitch
Photoshop
out.
time.
Exact, dude. What is it called? Not the magic wand tool, but the other one where you have to like highlight
Lasso.
around stuff. Yeah, that shit, bro. Fucking hate doing that shit.
Yeah, fuck
It's so
that.
annoying.
They have so many cool like new tools now that you can like. It's like a quick select tool.
I
It's pretty
saw
dope,
that.
dude.
I need to get on that. I was like, that could save me hours of time. Oh
For
my,
real.
just it's like one click and it just pictures out the human or the life looking image, and
For
I'm
the
just
most
like,
part, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
that's so easy.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to think that people can make an object think?
Yeah,
That's
dude,
pretty
that is
crazy.
pretty crazy. But
You know what I mean? Like,
it's not just. It's like it's also like
You can-
electrical currents and timing and. But
I
yeah,
know.
kind of. It is interesting
can-
that something
you
can
can
think
make
and
a
it's
piece
not
of metal think.
us.
Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
My sister's a narrative writer, and I feel she didn't finish the job, so I really don't know much about it. But she was writing dialogue for an AI to respond with, so it'd be more human like. And I was
Whoa.
like, that's trippy. But yeah, for like maybe like a couple months, she was writing a whole bunch of dialogue. So like one of those AIs, you go to like a convention and then you can talk to it. She was writing lines for that. So like she was like telling me how she had to think about where if someone's like, hey, do you like it when you fart? You know, like some weird she'd have to like think of like, yes, no, how, like all these weird ass questions and every route. She said it was very crazy. So on the topic of how making AI think, you're right, but to try to like make it more humanized, you have to have humans be able to do that for them. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. It's
Damn.
kind of crazy, dude. I
That
don't know
shit's
how we
crazy.
got to talking about all this shit.
We were talking about Photoshop, and you just laid it on me. That's why I
Yeah,
laughed. I was
you
like,
hit him
"This
with the
bro was
deep
here.
one.
This dude heard Photoshop and said, holy shit, that's futuristic."
Whoa.
He's like, Photoshop.
Let me
That's
blow
the
your
future.
mind though. Real talk. Premiere has a feature where it'll auto color correct clip to clip.
Oh, really?
What?
I use Sony
Yeah.
Vegas, so Premiere. Well, yeah, you edit videos. I don't have to subscribe Premiere to you.
Yeah.
I'm not mansplain stuff to Kemper because I think, even though he has a fucking degree in this shit, while I don't.
It depends on the
shit.
topic, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give me your pre-production shit.
yeah.
I
None of your
got the
pre-production
overview.
shit.
Yeah,
I got
Kemper's the
overview,
paperwork
son.
process guy.
Yeah, I got all the overview. We're good.
And I got the
Nice,
technical
nice.
know-how. So
But I can't do a storyboard. We
That's
need a
accurate.
graphic designer for that.
you don't need a graphic designer. Just get some stick figures. You're fine.
True.
Hell yeah.
I'll show you.
I heard with the new Batman movie, they made the scenes in VR. So then the director was able to go inside like the film, like where they're gonna record later on in
Oh.
VR and set up the shots. And that's why there's so many
That's
artistic shots in the new
sick.
Batman movie. I heard him talking about that. I was like, oh my god, this is the future. That's great. They make the whole set
Wow.
in VR first, and then if they want to tweak stuff, it's easier to do it in a
Yeah.
3D scape than it would be in person. I'm just like, that is
But
next
That's
level.
fucking dope.
it's crazy, but do you ever feel like it doesn't look quite right? Like
Did you watch the new
CG
Batman movie?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is like CG to me, like it's come a long way. Am I forgetting the I? CGI?
It's CGI.
Anyway.
No, you got it.
Like it just doesn't look quite right to me. I swear to you, my eyes just like it makes the movie seem more fake to me. Does that happen
Sonic
to
was
you?
really there in the movie, bro. I just saw Sonic 2, bro. They were
Like
really there. Like, I don't know.
there's some that are super dope, like Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. I fuck with that movie, bro. I fuck with
Nice.
Detective Pikachu. Like he looks real and I can dig it, but it's like that's not what I'm talking about necessarily. I'm talking about when it looks like a bad Photoshop job. You know?
Well,
Like
then
the
you're talking about
backdrop
like the
itself.
low quality films at that point.
Even high quality, like box office movies and stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. If it takes you out of it, being like this looks fake, they're not doing their job right. That's what you're trying to say, essentially.
I have an example
It
of
just
that. Have you ever seen
no, it's
Justice
like
League?
I miss old movies where they would really blow shit up.
Oh, okay. Well, they
Oh,
You
still
know?
do, but I feel you. It's like they don't have that love for their craft, right? Where
It
it's
just
like
doesn't feel the same, bro.
some
you're
movies
right.
still do it traditionally, though, because like as much as we develop with this like like you said CGI, we have to create the shadows, and sometimes there's shadows and stuff you just can't create because your brain can't comprehend that there's this little shatter of glass that would deform the shadow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, and there's a magic to when a moment is just captured, right? And a lot of this is like you can look at old movies that are like westerns and stuff. You know, like Clint Eastwood movies are great examples of that. But if you start looking at things like, say, like Reservoir Dogs, right? There's a, and that is a very bare bones movie, right? But there's a level of like authenticity to that movie, like in texture to it, because it isn't CGI, like none of it. They still did fake blood, they still did shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
But there's something about that movie that's just, it's mwah, like it's perfect, you know?
Feel it. I know I've seen that movie, but it's been way too long. I can't even
I've
think of it.
never seen it. I need to watch it. I've heard a lot of
What,
good things about
dude?
it.
All right, so Reservoir Dogs, it's just about a heist. It starts in the middle of a heist, and
Okay.
then something goes crazy, and it's about the day that these gentlemen who don't know each other's names. So there's like Mr. Pink, Mr. White,
I do.
Mr.
Yeah,
Black.
I knew I seen it. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like an old mobster movie, and so they don't know each other's names. They're just doing this job together, right?
Okay.
And so it's a super interesting movie,
I'll have to
and
watch it.
it was completely low budget.
Yeah. I watched I can't remember the name of the person who directed it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. Anyways, I remember watching a podcast with him and he talked about it. And like he had tried for so long to get budgeting for it, and then he ended up just doing it independently kind of thing.
Hmm.
Pretty
But even
crazy,
like
but
really old cinema, like when they would do stuff in like old Hollywood, there's something about just like the lights and when they were before any special effects came about. Like I remember we were watching like a film history class thing, me and Zack, and they were showing this old video of this dude's face like looking, and there's like light coming through the window pane to his side, and you're just seeing the look of tears running down his face, but it's just the window pane and like the shadow that it casts on his face.
I think
And
I've
it,
seen that.
yeah, like that kind of shit. It's so much different. And I'm not trying to just be like, if you say it's blue, I say it's red. If you say it's white, I say it's black. You know, like I'm just saying to me, I think there's certain um realms that are special. Another thing like that that's an easy one to explain is like fighting or like sex. Those things exist in unique realms, you know, like in like fighting, it almost is kind of hurtful to you in a weird way, like when you see people not like dap up after they've had a UFC fight. You know what I mean?
When you
Like
know,
you
like
really
there's
want
bad
to,
blood.
yeah, you want to see that. And it's just this because there's like a respect, whether I won or I lost, like motherfucker, I know what's up with you, you know. And maybe those dudes don't feel that they got it like finished, but they still, even if they saw each other like in the streets, they know where they stand with each other. It's like an unspoken realm where things are just special because they are, they're simple, it's baked into it. And I think film is one of those things that I feel is perfect in its inadequacies sometimes when it's made in a traditional way. Or
There's a beauty behind it, you know? That you
yeah.
just can't replicate some of that beauty in films with like you're saying with the rain make it look like they're crying more and stuff like that. You
Hmm.
know, you just sometimes you can't replicate. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be the same. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like there's a time for CG when like it allows you to really push the envelope and be like awesome, but it's not the cure all for everything, is what I'm saying. Like, to me, not everything gets better because they can do more with like CGI to like blow things up. Because if I don't feel like you actually blew that motherfucker up, it's not satisfying to me.
You'd
You
be
know?
surprised how many things they actually do blow up still.
I know, but like, I love when they blow up houses and cars and shit. Like, bro, I love it. That's part
You
of why I
just
want
want
to
things
make
to blow up.
movies.
I don't know.
Destroy a house.
You know how much fun that would be? Like, all of us on set and just be able to like
3,
have a moment with a
2.
ton of people and be like, all right, is everybody ready? Blow up the fucking house. Like, we've been working in this, we film it all, and now we get to blow it up. That's like, that's a dream come true.
You can get those like Home Depot houses and just like rent one of those and blow it up real quick and be like, I don't know what happened to it.
There you
I
go.
don't, like, have you seen those? They're like giant sheds, but you could definitely just rent one out to live in.
Dude, we'll just sell people autographed pieces of the house as memorabilia. We'll give somebody like a banister and fucking.
Yeah, a shingle.
There you go.
That's hilarious, dude.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, man.
Got to make money whenever you're losing money. I like it.
Yeah, we gotta make up. We got a hard line to push for these people.
That recycling shit.
Yeah, I gotta make sure the quarterly's good. But yeah, overall, man, is there anything that you want to say or that you're looking forward to in life and your career that you're yet to do, or something that you have done, or you know anything you want to really give
Well,
the
promote my
listeners?
Twitch. I stream literally every day at twitch.tv/Qeuw, Qeuw. But anything I'm looking forward to in the future, I'm a really happy guy right now. Job's going well, streaming's going well. The only thing, like, I'm the same as I've always been. The only thing I really look forward to is new video games coming out, I'm simplistic. So nothing that major, no. That's a boring answer, but I can't think of anything where I'm like, dude, I can't wait till this. I'm just, the next thing comes, I'm ready for it.
Right on. We'll
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
rock on. That's Timmy Stanford, baby. Episode 19 in the books. We'll see you
Yep.
soon. Much love to my brother. Keep doing all the stuff that you're doing. And honestly, if people want to have an entertaining show with a really communicative guest that is just like he goes above and beyond to show up for you. He'll be there for
Thanks,
you
babe.
every night. Like, people, dude, I just want to say before we get out of here, you
Your
don't
girl
know
might not, but me.
how much that really means to somebody. Like that you have a place in a community where they can come, something they can interact with, they can actually talk to you and you talk back
They can
in
come on.
real time. That's fucking beautiful, bro. You're actually providing something that people talk about mental health and stuff, and you give and give and give and give and always have for that, just out of the goodness of your heart. So I hope that people support you. Know that we're going to try and support you however we can. And we got to get you some merch or something going forward, dog, because you
Appreciate you.
deserve to do everything and more, with your platform. So with that, thank you. We're out of
Hey,
here.
no problem. Have a good one.
Later.